destruction. Something bad happening.
It's danger time.
How's it going, everybody? This is Reggie George with Block Party Trading. This is the first part in the Alpha Scalper tutorial everybody's been waiting for. Decided to break this up into multiple parts because there is basically different levels of depth that I can go into when it comes to Alpha Scalper. So this is just going to be kind of a basic introduction, and then we'll kind of go over some basic strategies that you can use in another video right after this one, basically. So what is Alpha Scalper? It's very similar to Alpha Prime, to be 100% honest with you, with a couple of tweaks here and there, a couple of missing features. You're not going to see as much trend line stuff. Believe you can turn that on if you really wanted to, though. But in general, it's Alpha Prime focused on short-term scalp deals. So it's meant to show you the entry points and get you that quick cash in those quick little 1-2% deals. Sometimes a lot more than that, though. So let's look at the key features, and then we'll kind of look at how to just go ahead with a very, very, very basic strategy in this one. And then, like I say, we'll have a little bit more advanced, but still basic strategy in the next one for you guys as well. So the key features, you're going to see we've got a tailored Bollinger Band right off the bat. A little bit tighter than a normal Bollinger Band. And there's going to be indicators within this Bollinger Band when you get squeezes on it. So that's these little outlined areas here. When you get a Bollinger Band squeeze, that generally means some form of price compression or consolidation is taking place, and there's going to be a move fairly soon. So that's one thing that you can look at for potential setups or for confirmation of setups. We'll go into that in a little bit, though. We've got dual moving averages in the middle, a short and a long, and then we've got a color coordinated zone to help with easier candlestick reading. And that would be this little doodad in the middle here. So you see when it's white, that's a symbol that we have a bullish deviation, and when it is yellow, that's a bearish deviation. So that means that more than likely it's going to go down. When it's white, more than likely it's going to go up. And of course, as you can see, the price fights within this. This is a 5-minute Kava tether chart, by the way. We'll go over that a little more in depth, though, in the future. That's one of the key features that we've got here. And then, of course, our support and resistance levels. Now, this is very similar to Alpha Prime. You'll notice it's almost the exact same layout, and they are, of course, just as useful as they are in Alpha Prime. The key and most interesting feature with the scalper is this automated long, short, and reversal indicators. These are set up on breaking MAs, breaking support levels or resistance levels, volume, that kind of thing. If we take these automated signals and we confirm them with a couple things on the chart here, and we confirm them with alpha oscillator down here, we are going to get extremely accurate short-term trades. Haven't worked out the exact percentage that we hit because this is fairly new, but I believe Christian went 4x on a account the other day. Not the other day, but over the course of a week using Alpha Scalper. Just testing her out. So how do we actually use this thing? Well, let's look. So a very basic Alpha Scalper strategy. Step 1, we see the long or the short signal. We're going to ignore the reverse signal at the moment, although the reverse signal can be a very effective entry point as well. We're just going to focus on long and short for this one. So, for example, we see our short signal right here. So do we enter right when we see that signal? Well, probably not, because we see down here we've got a short signal and then it went up, right? Then we got a long signal here and it went up. And, you know, sometimes these don't hit perfectly. So These tell you when an entry might be coming up. For example, this says, well, a short entry might be coming, but then you see it actually reversed up. We had a long entry just before that, though, so if you would have listened to that one, you would have been all good. So how do we confirm this? Well, we're going to look for our entry point after we get our short signal or our long signal. And we're going to look for an entry point along the moving averages band in the center. That's that yellow and white area that we have in the center of the price here, okay? We'll see here on this short movement, when the price starts to go up, it gets shot right back down, and then it fights underneath this moving band average, or this moving band in the middle here, in the Bollinger Band, and we get this bearish deviation. So we see that right away, we realize, oh man, I've got a bearish deviation forming. We just bounced off this support level. I'd look for an entry right along these moving average bands. So obviously it shoots up a little bit and then immediately shoots back down, shoots back up, keeps fighting underneath that moving average. So that would be your entry point on a short. You just look for the entry point, and then you look for confirmation with this moving average band and the price fighting to stay below it, basically. And if you see it and you see this yellow deviation here, you can look down here on your alpha oscillator. You see we've got a short signal here at the exact same time. Awesome. Double confirmation on that short. So again, once we get that confirmation and we get that confirmation, we just look for another entry point. Perfect entry point we see here on the MACD. We've got an upward deviation. So instead of entering on the the moving average here in the middle, we can use the MACD to get an even better moving average, or even better entry point. Alpha oscillator, sorry, not the MACD. That's proprietary now. It's an alpha oscillator. So in that case, we'd be able to enter right at the peak on the alpha oscillator here, right when it started to come down, which would be right around here, and get an even better entry point than entering off the moving average. And then we see, obviously, the price keeps going down. So where would we exit from this position? Well, if we got this entry point on the moving average, generally the easiest way to exit is on our Bollinger Band. And that's the opposite Bollinger Band, obviously, to the way that we're headed with our position. So if we're entered short here, we want to exit down here on the Bollinger Band when we start to get rejection at the Bollinger Band. So it hits it, starts fighting up. You know, we'll probably score, what, like 2% profit, let's say. 2% profit's pretty good for, how long is that? So we'll say we short, well, yeah, we shorted there. So literally 15 minutes, you just made 2% profit. Probably less than that realistically, because you'd probably enter midway through this bar and exit, you know, midway through that bar. So let's say 10 minutes. You can do the same thing on a long signal. So we got this long signal here. See, it comes down, it fights the moving average and goes below it. So right away we think, this might not be a very good long signal, but let's see what it does down here at this support level. Well, it comes down to the support level and it actually bounces right off the support level. Well, now that's very interesting because it just broke this support level up here. So now we think, well, maybe this long's good. And then we get this little short signal here. So we go, okay, well, let's see what it does at the moving average. Well, it busts right through the moving average. And we see down here on our alpha oscillator, this long signal just got confirmed over there. We're seeing on the moving average, it's busting right through the moving average. So we can pretty much forget this short right now. And we say, well, let's look for an entry point on our long here. And we get another long. Oh, damn. Well, let's see. We got a little resistance area on this white band here. So we'll see how it behaves there. Punches through. Well, what happens when something punches through a resistance area? It always retraces back down before carrying on. So once we see that punch through, we see that long there, we say, okay, well, let's try and enter back in this MA band the next time it dips down. So we'll enter right about here. And then we'll wait until we get rejection on the Bollinger Band up here. Now, in this case, we could hold this position in a more advanced trading style, and this is what you'll kind of get the hang of when it comes to the skill cap of this. In a more advanced trading style, you'll see this bullish deviation on the MA. You'll see the price fighting above the MA to stay up there, and you'll say, well, okay, I can hold this position. You look down at your alpha oscillator here, you've got a clear uptrend forming. The downtrend, when it does form, is very weak. Your volume's very low on it. So you know, hey, chances are I'm going to get some more up here soon. In that case, you want to hold it until you get, you know, a strong rejection on your alpha oscillator. But that is the advanced step 4. In that case, you'd be looking for a rejection at a support or resistance area. So in this case, we get rejected up here, which is this resistance area here, which gets painted over here as well. So at that point, we know, well, let's take our profit there. So that would be an advanced take profit, which would be about, you know, 5%, 4.5%, something like that. If we were doing the intermediate take profit just on the Bollinger Band there, we'd be looking at 2% profit over the course of, well, actually, we'd enter off there. So 2% profit over the course of 40 minutes on that one. Now, for reversal signals are going to happen when you get a confluence of support and resistance areas and a heavy rejection, basically, plus a Bollinger Band. So in this case, we've got a reversal signal right here. So this is an interesting area to kind of try to read, right? So we come into it, we hit here, we get the bearish deviation, and we see it bouncing off the bottom Bollinger, and then we get a short signal right here. So at that point, we start thinking, well, maybe we should look at opening a short here, right? Remember, these aren't immediate entry points. These are going to tell us where an entry point might be coming up on the chart. So we see that short signal, and we see it fighting here above the support. It dips back down below. So it's being pretty bearish right now, right? We go, okay, well, maybe we'll buy in when this starts pumping up. And we see it pump up here, and then we get a long signal all of a sudden, and a big bullish deviation. But we're right at this resistance level. So we got to think, okay, well, let's see how it performs at this resistance level. We might cancel our short idea here, and we might look for a long entry point. If we get a bust through here, we might look for an entry point like here on a long. Instead of a bust through, though, we get a reversal. So it gets hard denied there. It goes down. And then when we get that reversal, we should start thinking back at this short. Because it was bearish. Now all of a sudden we had a little bullish run and the bulls got rejected hard. Right? This is what this reversal means. That's a hard rejection. So at that point, we might think, well, let's see how it behaves at the support next. If it behaves funky there, we'll open that short, and then we'll try to we'll see what happens from there, basically. Because chances are we're looking at some bearish action here because we're getting this rejection up here. And of course, we see it at the next support or the next resistance. Gets totally owned and drops down. So say you open it, you know, when you see this breaking and you open it about here because you're a little bit late, and then you close it at the Bollinger Band again, 265 or 2.65 over the course of 15 minutes. So pretty cool, eh? Pretty cool. Like I say, these are potential entry points coming up. Do not take these as immediate entry points or you will get totally wrecked because you need to confirm these. These are an idea of the trend that the price is going to be following. Okay? Now to start, just use Alpha Scalper on the 5-minute time frame. Follow that strategy. Nice, simple, easy, basic scalper strategy. Okay? I'm going to post an image of this in the Telegram for all the premium members so that they can kind of follow along with it. But I tried to make this one as simple as possible, just so that you guys can get your feet wet with the scalper if you want and start making some quick profits out there on the market. Because it is a good market for it. It's very volatile right now. And if you learn how to use this tool correctly, it will pay for itself in a matter of minutes. Anyways, this has been Reg George with Block Party Trading. I hope that you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Party on.
Guard against contamination. What's your decision?
The question in the back of their mind, what does this mean?
Something out of a science fiction movie.